All right, number 10A. An object height is 10 centimeters, is viewed through a diverging lens. Focal length is 10 centimeters. Determine the location and height of the image for the following distances. The object is held away from the lens. Verify your calculations using ray diagrams. We don't need to. I'll do the ray diagrams after. All right, so we're going to do 10A, which is 35 centimeters for the distance of object. So let's start by writing out all of our, hang on here. I'm just going to fix this light thing here. Here, notes. Okay, what do we know for 10A? Object height. So we actually need to have this calculation because this is a two-part question. Focal length is 10 centimeters. We're doing 10A, so distance of object is 35 centimeters. And this question is asking us for die, and it's asking us for height of image, okay? So part one, all right, is finding die, okay? And we are looking at a diverging lens, which means that it's going to be virtual images, okay? So let's start with the 1 over f equals 1 over die plus 1 over dou. Let's isolate for die first. So remember, opposite operation, so we have to subtract the 1 over dou. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So it ends up looking like this, okay? It's diverging lens, which means that our DI is going to be negative for virtual images because this is a virtual image. So we should end up with a negative answer. It's a diverging lens, so our F must be negative. So we have to put a negative there. Remember, I forgot that on one of the other questions. Okay, so now we can fill it in. So negative 1 over 10 centimeters. Take away 1 over 35 centimeters equals 1 over die. Okay. Common denominator here, we are going to use 70. So we did times this one by 7 to get 70, whatever. Oh, sorry, guys. Just keep going. You can't even see. Okay. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the top. So I times the 10 by 70. I mean 7. So it's going to be 7. This one we did 35 times 2 to get 70. So it's going to be 2. It's going to be 1 over die. Okay. Then we're going to subtract these here, and it's going to be negative 9 over 70. And then now we have cross multiply. So we're going to go negative 9 die equals 70 divided by the negative 9. Die is going to be all the way down here. 70 divided by negative 9. And that's going to be, I'm just doing it on my calculator, but I think it's like 7.7 something. I'm pretty sure 7.77. 97. Oh, it is 7.7. 7.777. So we'll do 7.78. We'll round it, but it's also a negative, which makes sense because DI must be negative for virtual images, and this one will be virtual because it is a diverging lens. Okay, so that was part 1 of this question. So going back to our knowns now, we now know that our DI is negative 7.78. Okay, so we can erase all this. Now we are trying to find the height of our image. Okay, so just quickly, because magnification equals negative die over dou, magnification equals high over ho, you can take those, and because these both equal magnification, that would mean that they both equal each other, which then means negative die over dou equals high over ho, okay? Because they both equal the magnification, all right? So we can use that as our new equation. I'm not going to have that all day because I don't have a lot of writing space. So I'm going to reset. Negative die over dou equals high over ho. So now we have 3 of those 4 variables, okay, because we're looking for high. So let's fill it in. So we're going to go negative, negative 7.78 over, what was dou? 35 equals high, which we don't know, over 10. Okay? Because there's two negatives here, they can cancel each other out and they become positive. So instead of rewriting it, I'm just going to show two negatives equals a positive. So now they are gone. Perfect. And then we can cross multiply. So 7.78 times our 10 is going to be 77.8, and that's going to equal 35 times high. I'm going to divide the 35 out on both sides. Okay, and we are going to end up with a height image of 2.22 centimeters. Okay, and we're supposed to do a ray diagram, which we're not going to do, but I am just going to quickly show something. So see our height of our object up here was given to us as 10 centimeters. Our height of our image is 2.22. Okay, so looking at this on the computer, this is our object, this is our image. Do what we find made sense? Yes, what our calculations made sense, because as you can see, the object here is bigger than the height of our image. We had a 10 centimeter object. We found 2.2 centimeters for our image height. Comparing it to this ray diagram, does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense. So we did our calculations correctly. Okay, so that's just why they have you asking you to do the ray diagram, so that you can see if what you found makes sense to what the ray diagrams are, right? It's just a comparison. And really, you can do the ray diagrams to see on any of the questions you do to see if your answer does make sense and does look right. Okay, so that was 10A.